Hi everybody, this is Tina Bessius and I'm going to talk to you about Slack, which is a tool for digital communications that I think could be really useful to us at St. Paul's. It gives us a way to stay in touch in between meetings and to rely a little bit less on chance encounters in the church building and a little bit more on snippets of writing that we can search later on and attach files to and share with all the people who need to see a particular communication. So Slack is basically like text messaging and email combined. And if you can do either one of those things, you'll be able to do Slack, I think, with very little problem. It's a super easy app to learn to use. So in this video, I'm going to show you what it looks like and tell you how to get set up to use it. So here's the main page for the St. Paul's team in Slack. And you can see that this is the general channel. I'm going to focus you for now on channels over here and direct messages. And right now this is lit up green because I'm in the general channel, and this is one of the ones that Slack creates automatically. It also creates a random channel, which we may or may not need. And I've added an arts channel so that I can use it to communicate with the arts committee. But let's look first at general messages. So if I go up to the beginning here on Thursday, January 4th, Pastor Scott created our Slack team and invited George Size and me to join it. And then later on, Linda Foreman joined, and you can see that we started sending messages, very much like texting with each other. And then I sent one and attached a picture, and we continued to go back and forth, and you can see a bunch of messages here and some replies, and Maria Chi joined the channel, and you can see that we've played it a little bit with emoticons and things, just for fun. Channels over here are for groups of people, but you can also use Slack to send individual messages. So this list will soon grow as we get more people on our list, but for now, I have exchanged some messages with George. As you can see here, looks very much like the other screen, except these are personal messages that no one else can see. And that's how Slack is sort of like email. So let's say I want to send a message to the arts committee. And we've had a lot of conversation recently about the new artwork called Advent 2017. So I'm going to say thanks to Dick and George. Our new artwork is installed in the foyer. And I continue on with this message, and then I can send that, boom, just like that. And then maybe I want to add a picture of the artwork in its new place. So I click on this plus sign, and I put a picture here on my desktop, and I'm going to choose it, and I should retitle it artwork installed. And I will upload it. And there we go. Now the members of the art committee can see the work in its new location. Similarly, I could choose to send a message to everyone in the St. Paul Slack channel. And there might be other times to do that. And I think that I imagine that we will also be adding to the channels, one for the council, one for the staff, and perhaps other ones for various groups within our church. So how can you get started in Slack? So I will send you an email invitation, and it will look something like this. And you are being invited here to join St. Paul's Lutheran Church on Slack, and there's this nice inviting green button. And before you click it, I want to call your attention to the name of our channel, or the URL for it, which is stpaulslutheranchurch.slack.com. I'm actually going to copy that because I happen to know that it'll be useful and I won't have to type it in. And then I will click Join Now. And once I click that, I get a chance to create a profile in Slack here. I'm going to give a name and a display name. When you do that, why don't you just use your first name or your first name and last initial if there's somebody else with the same name. And that way we'll clearly know who it is. We don't want to be wondering, trying to search our memories and think about now, who in the world is Snuggles or whatever. So use your first name and give yourself a password that you can remember, And then I would unclick this. You do not need to get email message from Slack. And then you can click next, and you will have your profile set up. So once you get a profile set up in Slack and you join the St. Paul's Lutheran Church team, then the next thing to do is to download the app for your computer. So here is where you can download the one for Windows, and if you want to get the version for Mac, you can. And it really helps to have it visible. So I'm working on a Mac, and it's always over here in the dock. And there will be a little number 1, 2, or 3 when I get messages that shows me I need to look here. So you'll want to get the app downloaded and then log into it. So mine says Tina right up here. And if I sign, and this is where I can control my profile. I can change it if I want to. It's a really nice thing to set up a picture. So if I edit my profile here, I can change the image, which I probably should do because that one's a little old, but having any image is better than none at all. So you can see that George and Pastor Scott and Maria Chi all need perhaps a little persuading to add an image to their profile, but that would be a really nice thing. So to recap, to get started in Slack, you want to first accept the email invitation and create a profile, preferably include a picture, but it's not a requirement. And then you're going to download the computer application and sign into the St. Paul's team. That's St. Paul's Lutheran Church at slack.com. And then you're going to download the smartphone or the tablet app, depending on what devices you like to use. And again, sign into the St. Paul's team. And then you're going to stay logged in to the computer and smartphone applications so that you will get notifications when somebody sends out a message. I will help you with any of this, so bring your computer or send me a Slack message if you get on Slack, or just send me an email if you're not there quite yet, and let me know what help you need to get going.